And the reaction was a little shaky because I wasn't too sure what I did. I wasn't too sure if it counted. I didn't want to, be a blooper or none of that. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to, just get to the next play or the refs hurt and, confirm what it is. I was just so anxious. I was really stressed. It was a lot. I'm looking at the fans. I'm looking at the environment. It was a lot, but, that was my best play and, tried to embrace it.
I'm always confident at the free throw line. I've always been very successful in clutch moments at the free throw line. Tonight, I was just unsuccessful extending the lead. So I'm not going to put too much on that. Fact of the matter is we still were in position to win the ball game late in the game.
Mr. Clipper, Chris Broussard, joining us now. All right, Broussard, what did you make of the final 90 seconds of this game?
Jenna, the Clippers owned it.
Talk to me.
Absolutely owned the last 90 seconds, all but 8/10 of it. That's what it came down to. They owned all but 8/10 of the second. They were playing great. Paul George was playing like a superhero. He was absolutely shaming everyone who'd mocked him as Pandemic P, as Playoff PU, all of that. You mentioned the missed free throws before the final two. He had missed 3, which is unusual for him, but he came back. Wasn't having a great game, but down the stretch, he was awesome. 9 points in the last 2.5 minutes. 6-2 run over a 40-second span that gave them the 1-point lead with 22 seconds left. And then Wilds hit it on the head last segment. Patrick Beverley, he is the utter epitome of love him as a teammate, hate him as an opponent.
Yep.
He was getting on my nerves last night, but he was brilliant. And for him to knock that ball away from Devin Booker, and you heard Mark Jackson on the broadcast, everybody thought it was going to be Suns' ball, but it did go off Booker's hand. Great play by Beverly. So they looked awesome. It was over. Kenny Smith was singing, "It's over, it's over." And then for Paul George to go to the free throw line as an 85% career foul shooter, 89% this postseason, and miss those shots, if you're not a Suns fan, you had to feel for it. Because not only did he write a whole new chapter in the tales of Pandemic P, but it cost them the game. I mean, we're not talking about the terrific, probably the series. We're not talking about the terrific dunk by DeAndre Ayton and the pinpoint pass by Jay Crowder, the courageous pick by Devin Booker, who got to have a broken nose, right? And then the masterful play call by Monty Williams. We're talking about none of that if Paul George hits those free throws, and probably even if he hits just one of them. And so the Clippers, man, from hero to GOAT, Paul George, and them as a team, too, he said the right thing afterwards. I'm not going to put too much on it. That's what he's got to tell himself to have any hope of bouncing back. But this is going to be a hard one to come back from.
Well, you talking about bouncing back. Well, Nick, maybe you can help us out. You're the archivist on this show. You're the historian on this show. You're the mathematician on this show. But to come back from being down 0-2, you have less than a 7% chance. So you did that 2 series in a row, and now you're trying to ask them to do 3. Yeah. I don't know what the numbers are, Nick, but it damn near seems impossible. So these 2 missed free throws is the thing that stands out the most to me.
0.035%, Brandon. Not great.
What is it?
Go ahead.
What is it?
0.035%. Not great. 7% is 7% is 7%. Not great. Not going to have a great chance.
Right. Right, it's not great, and it sucks, and it's absolutely brutal because playoff P turned into playoff P. That was the biggest question around him. Can he perform when the lights are super bright? And he did that when Kawhi went down. We asked for him to just come up with a little bit more. We need more than 20 points. He goes back-to-back games down the stretch, 31 points, and then he had a nice game 1, and all of a sudden you have the game right right in your hands and you miss 2 free throws. And he is right. He's been really good from the free throw line, or excellent from the free throw line his entire career. So you have that. But then that play, man, those are the plays that you draw up, man. I grew up playing basketball. Now, obviously, didn't make it to this level, but you have these inbounds plays. You have like, oh, last play of the game, what are we going to do? And you work on it over and over and over again. Even in football, situational football, you hear about these teams, the Philly special, and then also in New England, like, yo, we worked on this going back to preseason, and we finally pulled it out in the Super Bowl or in a playoff game, and it absolutely worked. You got 0.9 seconds on the clock, Nick, and then they were able to get it done. Now, to me, there's so much more to talk about in these 90 seconds, but at the end of the day, this was a phenomenal game, and if you're a basketball fan, you have to love it. You have to love it.
That's right. I'm happy for Ayton. I'm happy the right team won. I am not happy, Wilds, that we evidently work with Broussard and Brandon, 2 utter maniacs, because this is the sports talk equivalent of your house being on fire and you are dealing with a leaky sink. You're like, no, I'll deal with the fire in a moment, but this sink is bothering me. Guys, none of that is the story. The story is the instant replay system in the NBA needs to be burnt to the ground. Let's just go over some things before we get to the Beverly play. Broussard, you played college basketball. You covered the league for 30 years. We just watched an epic Game 7 where I would argue the single biggest factor in who won Bucks Nets in the overtime was fatigue. One guy was totally spent. The other guy, Giannis, had a little bit left.
Right.
Well, do you think that game would have gone different if there had been 31 minutes of stoppages in the overtime like there was in the final 90 seconds? I do. That is altering the result. Brandon just talked about a brilliant play call and play design by Monty Williams. Did he have a timeout left? Of course not. But did he need one? Of course not. Why? Because they were reviewing something they had no need to review, because it is like if all you are is a hammer, everything's a nail. If you give a referee the option to review it, let's review it. Listen, they're all robots out there. This won't alter what was going to happen. No, of course it will. And then, Broussard, we get to something the day after Christmas. I looked it up. The day after Christmas 2019, you and I yelled at each other about, which was also involving Patrick Beverly, a block on LeBron James, where Beverly blocks LeBron's shot. It's off Beverly. For all of basketball history, that's off Beverly. And through the advent of super slow-mo frame by frame, we're like, oh no, actually, when your shot gets blocked, it rolls off your fingertip last. Which means, if that is how we're going to call that Beverly play, knocking the ball out of bounds, it means not only is all of NBA history wrong, it also means all of current basketball, high school, college, the NBA games outside of the final 2 minutes, all of it is wrong. No, that's not off Beverly. Everyone knows that's off Beverly. It also means, by the way, we must get everything right. Okay, take it to its furthest logical conclusion. Can we show the Ayton play again? Because I can count 6 fouls. Poor Zubats gets his jersey grabbed, pulled, he gets hit. You got Cam Payne in the post-game interview being like, well, the refs aren't really calling it. No, get it right. Review it all. Is that a foul? Is that a foul? I think those are all fouls. Guys, this isn't getting it right. It's altering results. The Pat Beverly play, it's unfathomable that you're going to start saying that's off the offensive player. That is not how basketball is played. The rules, Broussard, are fungible. You can change them. Change it today. I write it however you need to write it. That, you know what? If a player causes the ball to go out of bounds, if that is the force of the ball, it's out on that player. There you go. Fixed it. And that way people can stop hiding behind, technically they got it right. No, they didn't. It's bad for the game. It's bad for it, Broussard. You know it, I know it. That's off Beverly.
Okay, Jeff Van Gundy Jr. Stop it. All right.
He's right.
No, it's not. Look, they got it right. It clearly was off Devin Booker's hand. It was. And the bottom line is technology makes things better. You just went too far, Nick.
No, it doesn't.
You made some good points. Monty Williams did get an extra timeout because of it. I give you that. And he was able to drop that play. But you took it too far. To just say let's eliminate it in the last few minutes, you know what? That Kevin Durant three-pointer or 22.8
they called it a 2 on the court.
7.5 footer, in a lot of cases, it could have easily been called